Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, September 25th, 2023. It is not my normal habit to buy movies sight unseen. I usually like to rent them first or try to find them on YouTube, even if they're in a lesser quality. But as I have gushed and gushed and gushed in the shows where I covered the four movies from the set, the Polish science fiction film anthology, or I shouldn't say anthology, tetralogy, the Apocalypse tetralogy, was such a beautiful discovery that I've gotten a little bit better, or not better, but I'm more willing to experiment on buying a movie, even if I'm not sure if I'll like it. So I'd come across a really interesting cover for a film from 2018, a Swedish psychological horror film called Black Circle, or Svart Circle, I think is how it's said in Swedish. I'm probably messing that up, though. There's probably some inflection I'm not getting right. But I saw the cover. It looked really interesting. I read a couple of reviews, and a number of them referred to it being comparable to Beyond the Black Rainbow, which is a movie I absolutely love. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance on this one. So the basic synopsis of it is it concerns two sisters who, one of the sisters has recently come into a lot of success and recommends her sister listen to this vinyl record, The Black Circle, the title, that has motivational messages related to a group of researchers who were looking into magnetism and hypnosis back in the 60s and 70s. So you can see where the connection to Beyond the Black Rainbow is already. And the sister listens to it, and then the two of them start to experience some unforeseen circumstances as a result of listening to this record, and they start to try to figure out if they can undo some of the things that are happening. And that's as much as I'll say. I'll leave the rest for my longer review on Friday where I get into the spoilers. But in essence, Beyond the Black Rainbow has stronger visuals. So I definitely see where the comparisons come from. It is not as visually imaginative, but I think a lot of the subject matter is the same, and I think it's a very successful film. I think I like Beyond the Black Rainbow a little bit better because it's more willing to just go full weird with its visuals. But I think Black Circle is actually a very good film to pair with it. I think the two of them go along really well. I'd probably watch Black Circle first, and then Beyond the Black Rainbow, unless you want to go weird first and then kind of mellow out a little bit, because this is a little bit more straightforward. But I think it's a very good movie, and I'm really glad I bought it. It's interesting, and there's some materials I'm going to watch on it. But it's a very, in many ways, simple film. But in others, it is interesting in terms of, I know what I think it's supposed to be an allegory or a metaphor for. I think it's pretty clear. But like a lot of movies in this vein, you can really bring to it what you want, and somebody else might interpret it in a radically different way. Now, I watched it subtitled. I don't even think there was an English track on this thing, but that's fine. I wouldn't have watched it with it anyway. So I can't really judge the acting when there's foreign speakers. Obviously, if they make really weird faces, I can judge that as far as acting. But as far as the way they're speaking and everything, it sounded good to me, but as a native Swedish individual might judge it more harshly. I saw some reviews that mentioned that, and maybe those are native Swedish watchers. For me, I thought everybody was good. Minimal special effects, so there's not a lot of it there, but I think there's some very effective and creepy shots. I think the overall idea of the film, I will say that the ending does feel very non-American. And I think you could probably sort of infer what I mean by that. But it does not have, well, I'll just say, it doesn't have the traditional, I don't know. The ending is interesting because that's also open to interpretation in some ways. So I was about to say it doesn't have the traditional American happy ending, but I really don't know if that's necessarily true depending on how you view the film. So, and I think that's, when I can say that about a movie where I'm not really sure where I land on what the messaging is, that's usually a strength for me. And I think it was in this case. I think the fact that it doesn't just paint by numbers, here's what happened, 1, 2, 3, you can explain it to somebody in a paragraph and they've got the entirety of the movie, that's usually the sign of a stronger film for me. So I would have to say I really like this movie. I plan to rewatch it at some point in the near future because there was a lot going on. I want to kind of rewatch it and see if I missed anything. And there were some interesting concepts that were sprinkled throughout that I think we're meant to be left ambiguous, and I think that's a good thing. But, you know, again, if I don't want to compare it too closely to Beyond the Black Rainbow in its visuals. That movie is far more visually experimental and weird. But in terms of the actual story, I thought it was really good. So, unfortunately, you can't stream it or rent it anywhere. You'd have to buy it, which I did. But again, 2018 Black Circle or Svart Circle. I thought it was a really good time. If you get a chance to watch it, let me know what you think. Later.